How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another episode of our W3 save, our local to global in WMMA 5. And we have for you today W387 CHIMAEV versus DIAZ. Now, a Bellator card just happened, so I'm going to check to see if there's anybody that I want. Saul Rogers, not so much. Alexandra Becerra from 1. Low-level national, we'll definitely go ahead and take him. Thank you very much. Aaron Pico. Yes, please. Low-level national right now, but we would definitely build him up. He's got to be 27. He's definitely not a prospect anymore, unfortunately. Bogdan Guskov. No thanks. Mohammed Bakayev, not Mokayev. Jamie Richardson. Jamie Richard, what are you doing in 1? Okay. That looks to be everyone that I would have possibly wanted to get. Kyle Crutchmer, mid-level regional in America. Yikes. He's not very popular right now. And yeah, no one else that I would really want to get. So yeah, we have CHIMAEV taking on Nate Diaz today. That's a very, very big card. Hopefully it gets us a good 4.5-5 percentage points towards our popularity. We are currently at 24.8% low-level international. We need to get to 33% to get to mid-level international. So a good 9 percentage points away from doing that. Hopefully 2-3 fight cards away from achieving that goal. Our next fight cards are going to be another big one. W388 Diaz versus Thompson. Originally, Nick Diaz was supposed to fight Albert Tumanov. He got injured. In steps Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That should be a big one. Also got Mackenzie Dern and Holly Holm on that card as well. That should add another big level of fight draw to that. I've also recently started doing something pretty interesting. So I recently created my own broadcaster called W3 Plus, which is essentially going to act like the UFC Fight Pass. I put it on enormous in every single place, just so that way we can get it out to as many people as possible. But it's free to air, so there's no requirements behind it. I can put as shitty of a show that I want, and it's going to go out to a bunch of people, hopefully draw in some crowds. That's my goal. These are definitely going to be my throwaway shows where I get, just prospects or people who haven't fought in a while on these cards, just so we can, keep the divisions moving a little bit more. But I feel like it should be pretty good. The downside is we're not going to make any money on these cards. In fact, we're more than likely going to lose money on these cards, but hopefully with the potential to gain some popularity. That's really what it's all about. We're always going to be making money with our main shows. That's not a problem. We had about $60 million in the bank. I believe it took us about, wow, actually, hold on. Yeah, it only costed 15 million to make that to make that broadcaster. So like I said, hopefully it gets us some gains in our audience, but that remains to be seen. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this one going. Nate Diaz and KHAMZAT CHIMAEV, that should be a good one. Also got Moreno versus Moraes, Rochelle versus Favale. That's going to be our first W3 fight night. Rockage versus Hill, Kevin Lee versus Robbie Lawler, and then another fight night, Garcia versus Riddell. Should be a good one. Let's go ahead and get right into it. KHAMZAT versus Nate Diaz. This fight was going to happen. This fight was going to happen. And then very last minute, they said, whoops, switcheroo. All right, Cressida Angers taking on Taylor Guardado. Guardado gets a submission victory. Claire Guthrie taking on Stephanie Geltmacher, and it is Claire Guthrie coming out on top, improving to 6-3. Tallulah Goodnight taking on BAI, and it is AI getting the win here today via TKO. Jeff Hughes taking on Elias Urbina, and it's Urbina with the TKO victory in round number 3. DeMarcus Jackson taking on Chad Laprise at 170, and we have Chad Laprise coming out on top. Love to see that. Luis Gonzalez taking on Mickey Gall, who has been struggling, and Luis Gonzalez might have just kicked Mickey Gall out of W3. Jake Lindsay taking on Alex Reyes, the Executioner, at 155, and it's the Executioner who beats the Librarian in the second round, and he wants to fight Johnny Case. Joe Giannetti taking on John McDessie, and it is McDessie with the unanimous decision victory here today. All right, still in the prelims, Michael Johnson, who is sub 500, taking on Aviv Ghazali. And Michael Johnson goes back to 500 with a TKO victory. James Gallagher taking on Jared Scoggins at 135, and Gallagher gets the win. Unanimous decision. Low-level national still in Europe, but still making a name for himself in America. Love to see that. They're only going to get more popular. Love to see it. Angela Lee taking on Claudia Gadelia in our main card opener, and it's Angela Lee coming out on top. Unanimous decision. 3-0 now in W3. Definitely making a name for herself already low-level national. Misha Serkinov taking on Fabian Edwards at 185, and it's Edwards with the knockout kick in 30 seconds into round number 3. Love to see that. Ion Kuchelaba taking on Reiner de Ritter, and it's de Ritter with the split decision in round number 3. High-level regional. He might be low-level national in America now. Love to see it. Love to see it. Paul Felder taking on Usman Nurmagomedov, who is still undefeated, and he is still undefeated. Knockout punch over the Irish Dragon in round number 3. Usman, low-level national in America, and he's still getting better. Still getting better. Only 26 years old. Tai Tuivasa taking on Stefan Struve. This is for the W3 heavyweight ring. Tuivasa with a big win over Francis Ngannou via TKO his last time out. Stefan Struve over on the other side, 1-0 in W3 with a win over Greg Hardy, who is going to be the W3 heavyweight king, and it's Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa with a knockout in round number 3, puts on the ring, and yeah, very happy for him. Hopefully his popularity increases a little bit more as we go to our main event of the evening. In the welterweight division, Nate Diaz, 1-0 in W3, beat Conor McGregor in the trilogy. You gotta love it. Taking on KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. Came right into W3, just smashed Brian Barberena, and this was after he just lost the title from Kamaru Usman. He comes in with his mid-level international popularity. Insane that we were able to get him. This is a pretty insane main event, and it's KHAMZAT CHIMAEV with the TKO victory over Nate Diaz in round number 2. Hopefully his popularity soars even further. Nate Diaz still going to be very popular at mid-level international, and he's throwing a party. Let's see how we did. 15,000 people in attendance in Arizona. Commercial rating of 98. 3.5 million at the gate. You gotta love that. My guess is at least 4.5 percentage points. 4.6 percentage point increase. You gotta love it. Popularity still going up. We are 1 or 2 fight cards away now from hitting mid-level international and a $12 million freaking profit on that. KHAMZAT CHIMAEV getting $1 million. Nate Diaz getting 246,000. You gotta love it. Appreciate you guys as always. Please stay tuned. We do have that huge fight card coming up as well, as Wonderboy Thompson takes on the other Diaz in Nick Diaz. That should be a good one. Appreciate you guys as always. These are going to keep coming at you daily as we look to overtake the UFC. I'm AZPlyo21, and I will see you guys at the fights.